Right. So let's get into it then. So first topic we want to talk about. Me and the fellas went to see Creed 3 last week, man. So just as a heads up for everybody in the stream, based off of some feedback from you all in terms of how we do our show, so we're going to do this a little differently. We are not going to give a spoiled movie review first. We are going to take an attempt at doing an unspoiled movie review. So that way, if you haven't seen it yet, we're not going to be ruining anything. We're not going to be ruining anything for you. Now, once we get done with the unspoiled movie review, I will put the spoiler alert up there. We may talk about some things very quickly that may be spoilers, may not, but we will definitely give you a heads up on that. So just wanted to let everyone know so you're aware. You don't have to mute right now because we're going to give the unspoiled review first and foremost. So we're going to break this down into different sections. First thing we're going to talk about is plot, and I'm going to give my grade for the plot. So I give it an A minus. I think one of the most interesting things is this was Michael B. Jordan's first movie that he actually directed himself, and I think it was a pretty good one. It had all the necessary plot points for what you really come to expect from a Rocky/Creed movie. Of course, we have the hero who you're rooting for the entire time. I don't understand how after 6 Rocky movies and 2 Creed movies, the hero is somehow still the underdog, but that's neither here nor there. Somehow they kind of figure out a way for them to be the person that is the underdog in the movie.
He got lazy, dog. He got laid back in his
What do you expect? I didn't know. He didn't have nothing else to prove. So
right.
The good news is he didn't sit on the couch and get fat or nothing.
No, we did not.
On the gym.
Yeah, you're right about that. Of course, you have the villain, who somehow they always really find a way for them to strike a perfect balance between being likable and hateable. And yes, hateable is a word. I actually looked that up in the dictionary. Thank you very much. Or Googled it, I should say. Obviously, I don't have a dictionary. And then of course, you have the training montage. You can't have a Rocky or Creed movie without that. I did do some research, and actually, I did not realize this, but the original Rocky movie, I think it came out in 1972. They actually credit that movie with really popularizing the training montage. And then basically every movie since then that's had that kind of took their cues from the original Rocky movie. And every single Rocky movie and Creed movie has had a training montage. So, of course, I think all 3 of those kind of elements put together, it's really why I give the plot grade kind of an A minus there. Ryan, Nick, thoughts from you on the plot?
I'll agree with you. Honestly, I give it an A, but you binged, if I ain't mistaken, you watched both of the Creeds, Creed 1 and 2 before we went obviously to go see Creed 3. So you had plenty of time to refresh and catch all that stuff. I never finished all the Rocky movies. So that's a fact I didn't know. I didn't realize they were doing a training montage in just about every Rocky movie as well. So I think I only got to 3. I don't know. It's kind of hard looking at those old ass movies now. So that's how that works.
I understand.
It's a golden era. So I hadn't seen any of the other 2 Creed movies. So I was a little bit apprehensive going into this about, if I was gonna be able to keep up, understand some of the references and stuff. Luckily, Justin was able to just be like, oh, that's this person, that's this person. Turns out everybody was just somebody else's son from the older movies. Justin was just that's his son. And then his dad kicked his dad's ass, and then his dad trained his dad, and I was just like, so this is just everybody's kids. And he's like, yeah, all right, cool. But no, I thought it was great. I agree with what you said. The balance on the villain, Jonathan Majors, absolutely crushed it. His mannerisms, the way that he talked, and then at the end, it's just such a dude moment. Well, I won't give away the end because we're still in the safe review part. But having not seen Creed 1 or 2, I was very stoked on it. The training montage was lit. I came out of that ready to just run through a fucking brick wall, dude. I was so amped up coming out of that theater, bro. I was ready to just take on the world.
If we would have told Nick let's go to the gym right after the movie, he would have been down.
I was there. I was fucking there, dude. Give me some gloves.
For sure.
I'll get my ass kicked. I'll get in the ring, get my ass kicked. Let's go.
No, you won't. We had that discussion. You get hit in the face once. It's you know what? This ain't for me, big dog. I gotta go.
I'm good.
It's a wrap.
I'm not that guy, pal.
All right, so it sounds like we're all in agreement on plot. Next, we will move over to acting. So I give the acting an A overall. You got Michael B. Jordan, you got Tessa Thompson, you got Jonathan Majors, right? I don't think I need to say more. I'm a huge fan of Michael B. Jordan, a huge fan of Jonathan Majors, and also a huge fan of Tessa Thompson. I think she's done a great job in a lot of the stuff that she's been in as well. Them three together definitely carry the movie. And there are a lot of scenes and interactions between those three. No spoiler here because it was clearly evident from the trailers as well as interviews before they released the movie. But noticeably absent from this movie was Sylvester Stallone. This was the first one he actually wasn't in, but I don't think that impacted the movie overall. I think it was nice that Michael B. Jordan kind of got to direct this movie and Rocky wasn't in it per se, because they really wanted to see if Creed alone, could stand on its own feet without Rocky in his corner. So I think they did a phenomenal job with that. Overall, I give the acting grade an A. Thoughts?
Honestly, I agree with you. I feel like it was an A, but I'm also like close to like a 98, so I want to say A plus.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you. The reason why I say is because like one of the things that I look for in acting is there a cringe moment? I don't know if anybody else do it, but like, is there like a cringe moment to where it's like, that didn't float itself or that didn't come out right? Like, why they even put that in the movie? I didn't have a moment during the movie where I just cringed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like it was a very, very good acting, and obviously you got three heavy hitters, like you said, Tessa Thompson, Michael B. Jordan, Jonathan Majors. Like, you have heavy hitters all together, and when they can carry a movie without even like supporting cast, but then your supporting cast is actually like acting well, like you can't do anything wrong. So I felt like it was like a 98. I would have gave it a plus.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that, like you said, Justin, they carried the movie. The plot wasn't anything like new, innovative, like out of this world. It wasn't bad. It wasn't boring by any means, but it was one of those plots where the acting was really going to make it or break it, and they totally made it, dude. They fucking knocked it out of the park. So I'm with you. A plus.
Cool. All right, and then last but not least, action grade. So for the action grade, I give it an A plus. I
Yeah,
appreciate.
dude.
I mean, they had some really, really good like fight sequences in this movie. I appreciated Michael B. Jordan's success in keeping the fight sequences in the film fresh. If you think about it, this is film number 9. So someone might say, well, how much like boxing in a ring can you do before it all feels the same? I think they did a really, really good job with this one. No spoilers here, but to anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet, they put a very, very unique but totally awesome and cool spin on the last fight sequence that you're not really expecting. And it was really, really well done. Yeah. So overall, I give it, or for the action grade, I give it an A plus.
100% agree. A plus. That the whole movie had you on your seat, like on the edge of your seat, every single time a fight scene came up. It was
Facts.
like even the small, simpler one. We can save that for the spoiler part, but the simple one, it literally had you laughing because it's like you won't do that shit again in your life. But still, it's like it's like even that was enough for me. You know what I'm saying? But every single fight scene, trust me, 110%, you're gonna be on the edge of your seat. You're gonna love it.
So I'm gonna go a little bit away from the herd here. I'm gonna give it an A.
Okay.
Only because there was no moment, and this might be a slight spoiler. This might be a minor spoiler. There was never a moment where you really thought, "Oh shit, he might go down." Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I feel like that's a staple of a lot of just fighting movies in general, like not even Rocky, but just boxing movies. There's always that moment where you think like, "Oh shit, like he's about to lose. He's about to," and they didn't really have that here. And I kept waiting for it, and it didn't happen. But that's more nitpicky on my part. Like, the boxing was incredible, like you said, Justin. The twist they put on that final scene was fucking awesome. It worked so well. It was a little bit risky. It could have gone wrong. Absolutely did not. Something that I noticed, and I pointed this out to Justin in the movie as well, was the sound. It's not something I typically notice in a movie, but the sound engineering and the way that they had it with the thuds and they're huffing and puffing and grunting and everything. It was good. It was really, really good. I was fully immersed. I was into it. I was I wasn't in a nice reclining seat, I would have been leaning forward. So, yeah, the action was absolutely incredible. And
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Nick.
you're good.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, somebody told me the other day that he got his inspiration from a lot of anime.
Oh yeah.
And
Mhm.
I looking back, I was like, that makes so much sense. I can
Yep.
see it now with like the close-up shots on their face and some of the other stuff they did. It was like there were definitely anime elements in there, and it worked.
Yeah, Michael B.
Mhm.
Jordan's a huge anime fan, and there's literally an article in EW News where they're talking about the anime references. There's one scene in particular where it's straight out of Dragon Ball Z, and like he
Yep.
admits he got it
100.
like almost frame for frame from Dragon Ball Z. So it's pretty
Mhm.
intense, but it's pretty fucking awesome, honestly. So.
Yeah.
Cool. So overall grade, you know, we've talked about the plot, we've talked about the acting, we've talked about the action sequences. So what do we give it overall? My overall grade, not looking for the A plus here. Looking for the A. I think overall one of the most solid movies that's come out this year so far. It's awesome, and I think anybody who's a fan of boxing or not even a fan of boxing, if you're just a fan of a good, like, you know, raw dog action movie, you're gonna enjoy this. You know, so what are you guys' overall grade?
I'm gonna give it an A plus.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with my A plus. I mean, it's a wholesome movie, man. Like you got parts in that movie that are like tear jerkers. You got parts in that movie that's like funny, even though it's like a serious movie. It's still kind of like funny how things turned out. Like looking at it from like a family perspective. But then you got the action, and you got a good story. Like I mean, if you sit down and you think about the story as well, like it's a good story.
Yep.
Like I feel like it's a solid story and it can stand on its own. So I give it an A plus.
All right, Nick.
I'm gonna go with A.
Okay.
I mean, I reserved the A plus for only a small handful of movies, but this was definitely a good movie. Definitely go see it. I would say go see it in theaters, just, you know, for the sound, for the scene, the way that it was
Yeah.
shot. It was shot for IMAX, or it was shot with like the special cameras or whatever it is that you were telling me about, Justin. So like, worth going to see in a theater for sure.
Yeah, 100% agree. So how does, you know, our overall movie review stack up? Well, currently Creed 3 is sitting at an 87% fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes, based off critic reviews, and it's sitting at an outstanding 96% audience score. And I checked that today. So those were the scores as of today. So I believe the stars are in alignment on this movie. I think everyone should go see it. It was fantastic. Really, really good movie overall.
Agreed.
Awesome.
Do we want to go to the chat?
Yeah, let's see what's going on in the chat.
Chat has been popping off about this. So Despair says that she needs you as her Sherpa going through movies, and I agree. Justin is a great Sherpa to guide you through any movie that you
Yes.
want to go see. There was discussion about what Sherpa actually means. It's a guide. It comes from the indigenous peoples in Tibet and in the Himalayas that guide people up the mountains and carry their gear. Lex says she's ordering her ticket now. Love to hear it. Beast Boy confirmed some of the fights were inspired by anime. He says mostly Dragon Ball. He had said it in an interview, pretty sure.
Mhm.
Yep. Big facts.
And apparently Michael B. Jordan is just a big anime fan. So everyone's just kind of
Yes.
confirming. We also have Justin's mom in the chat. Shout
God.
out to Mama Hamilton.
I hope
Great
she
to
didn't-
see
For
you.
real? Hold up. Now, you know what?
Hey,
What's
hello,
up?
mother. I appreciate you being here. I got quite a few family members that hopped in to support us. So thanks for coming out.
I
That's
love
awesome.
to see it.
Love the support. I do think I could be a movie Sherpa, because now that I think about it, I have this thing. I don't know why I do it, but it's just this like compulsion. When a new movie comes out, if it's a sequel of other movies, I have to watch the movies like before I can go
Sure.
see it. So because I want to make sure I'm like up to date on all the lore and all the different things going on. The one thing I've gotten away from, I no longer do it for the Marvel movies, at least not all of them, because it's
yeah,
just
well.
way too many. But when Endgame came out, I did do the Endgame challenge where I started with Iron Man and watched all the way up through getting the Endgame, and that was an experience for sure doing that. So, you got any movie questions? Just call me Sherpa J.
Sherpa J. I think
Sherpa
Despair
J.
did that too,
J.
if I remember correctly.
All right. Well, I think we, talked about Creed quite a bit. I think the next movie that we're gonna go see will be John Wick 4. So super excited about that at the end of the month. We may go see something before then, but I think that's the next big one. And I will be watching John Wick 1, 2, and 3 before, and we may even have a discussion on the first 3 movies on the show before 4 comes out. So looking forward to that. Please don't forget to hit that follow button on Twitch if you haven't already done so, and make sure you have those notifications on. Also, subscribe to our Twitter and YouTube channel for more things on our show. The handle for both of those is @SpoilerAlert for you. And again, that's @SpoilerAlert, the number 4, the letter U. If we spoiled something for you today, sorry, not sorry, because we're just talking about the things we love. And spoiler alert, we do love all of you, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
Peace out, fellas and ladies.